My name is Representative Edgar Gonzalez, and I've been in office since January 2020, and it wasn't too long ago, it was only 6 years ago, when I was in your shoes trying to figure out life after high school. I applied to 6 schools in total. 5 of them were in Illinois. One of them was actually out of state, but 5 of those schools in Illinois were U of I and UIC. So I was in everybody's shoes, just 6 years ago. I'm the youngest state legislator right now. So in terms of the people, in the General Assembly, I'm the closest to your demographic and the one that has the best memory of, the most lively memory of what your experiences is and what you will be going through in the coming months. So I'm excited to have the University of Illinois present to you guys today. You'll hear from all 3 of the universities: Chicago, Springfield, and Urbana. They currently serve 90,000 students, and while this year may look a little different because of the pandemic, they are working hard to provide a world-class education to so many students across the states. So we hope you consider them. I hope you consider them when you're applying at colleges. So you also hear from the Illinois Student Assistance Commission, or ISAC, who will give a very brief overview of Financial Aid 101. And after presentations conclude, I'll ask a couple of questions, so please stay until the end.
Representative Gonzalez, I would like to give a warm welcome to students in high schools from both my district and Representative Gonzalez's district. My name is Aaron Ortiz. I am a lifelong resident of Gage Park and the current state representative of the 1st District. I've been in office since January of 2019. I was the first in my family to attend college, and I graduated from the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign. Being able to join you today and help promote the University of Illinois system is special to me as a proud former educator and college counselor at Back of the Yards College Prep High School. I know the impact a college education had on my life and the importance of applying for scholarships. During these pandemic times, it's okay as a student to have 1,000,001 feelings. You feel like the world is against you right now, but I want you to know that it's okay to have those feelings. You have been pushing through these past few months, and you are halfway through your 1st semester of your junior or senior year. Keep pushing, keep being a strong leader in your community. Our communities at most need your support. Whatever available time you had to volunteer during these crazy times, please do so. It'll help you relieve some of that stress and 1,000,001 feelings that you're facing.
Hello, and thank you from the University of Illinois at Chicago. My name's Rick O'Rourke from the UIC admissions team. I'm very excited to connect with all of you virtually here from UIC as you begin your college journey. Next, as you may know, UIC is Chicago's only public research university, and we're the largest college in downtown Chicago here with more than 30,000 students. Next, UIC is classified a Research 1 institute, one of only 4 in the state of Illinois and one of about only 100 in the country. For those of you who are planning on graduate or professional school, a Research 1 institution like UIC is an ideal environment. But for anyone who has a general idea on what kinds of problems they want to solve in the world, you'll be working with professors who are internationally recognized as being on the cutting edge of their field. We're also on the forefront of the COVID-19 pandemic response. We are innovating reusable face masks, shields, respirators, swab test kits, methods for contact tracing and safer patient transportation. Also, UIC is Chicago's site for the RNA vaccine trials. Next, UIC is also known to be among the most diverse campus communities in the country. Now, we know that diverse groups of people are more innovative and efficient at solving problems. And as a Research 1 institution, we consider our diversity to be among our greatest strengths. We're ranked top 5 in diversity by US News and World Report. No racial or ethnic majority on our campus. 40% of our student body are 1st generation college students. And more than 57 different languages are spoken by our multilingual students on campus. Now, our campus is also home to 7 different centers for cultural understanding and social change, and are recognized nationally for inclusion practices. And we offer a range of support services, such as the Latin American Recruitment and Enrollment Service, or LARES, our largest academic support program, which has also won national awards. And I'm joined here by Luis Duarte and Marilyn Diaz, who are from the LARES program to answer more questions about it. Culturally, as you see here, we are dedicated to social good through student leadership, advocacy, and activism. Our students are dedicated to improving the quality of life for Chicago residents and residents of great cities like Chicago all across the country. Next, looking at our tuition, we are an affordable option here in downtown Chicago with tuition around $14,000 per year for Illinois residents. Next, talk about our financial aid. So about 60% of our students are eligible to receive Pell Grants, meaning we serve a large number of students with financial need. And need-based financial aid, of course, is assessed via Fafsa or the RISE Act application via ISAC for state grants. Now, merit-based aid, these scholarships typically only require an application for admissions with December 1 as a priority consideration date. So completing your application by December 1, you receive priority consideration for merit-based scholarships. Next, I'll talk a little bit about some of our highlighted merit-based scholarship programs for first-year students. Our Chancellor's Fellows Award, this year awarded about $10,000 per year, renewable for all 4 years to students, and we take academic merit and financial need into consideration. The Provost Fellows Award is about $5,000 per year, which was awarded this year, renewable for all 4 years, and does not take financial need into consideration. So that is strictly based on merit. Then we have our very prestigious President's Award Program, which is about $5,000 per year. Consideration, we consider high school record, a review of all of your application materials, and looking specifically at students from a low-sending Illinois county to the University of Illinois, looking at financial need, or students from historically underrepresented groups. And then finally, for first-year and transfer students, all of our academic departments will consider applicants for merit-based scholarships, including our Honors College. Now, the details of these scholarship programs are still under review, and please check again with us directly or at our website for updated information on the coming fall semester. Next, for our admissions, we are test optional this fall. And please understand that deciding not to submit a test does not impact you in any way negatively for admissions consideration or for any of our scholarship programs. We take a lot of other factors into consideration, such as your personal statement, letters of recommendation, your grade trends and GPA, and the strength of your schedule through the common application. Finally, I'd like to thank you again, and I do hope to work with you moving forward. Please visit us at any time throughout the week to engage with us virtually at discover.uic.edu. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jonathan Martinez, and I am a regional admissions counselor at the University of Illinois Springfield, and I primarily work with students on the south and southwest sides of Chicago, as well as the western suburbs. I was born and raised in the city of Chicago, and I currently reside in the Little Village neighborhood. I have also been working in admissions for about 2 years now, and I do speak Spanish, so if at any time any of you or your parents, family members, friends have any questions and you need assistance in Spanish, you could always feel free to contact me. My contact information is available on the screen, and you can just feel free to send any questions and I'll be more than happy to help. But before you hear a little bit more from me, I do want to go ahead and start off with a quick video that's going to highlight our campus a little bit more and also give you an opportunity to hear from some of our students.
I think UIS just looks for the best quality in every person individually. I think everyone has something special about them, and I think UIS just tries to bring that out of every person.
The US campus is very small, but it's mighty because you get a chance to connect with people on a one-on-one personal basis.
People think like, oh, it's just Springfield, like why would I go to college in Springfield? I think you get a lot of the same opportunities that you would get anywhere else at UIS. It kind of just assured me that this was where I could be.
Leadership to me means you want to be a good role model or a member of the society, and UIS does a great job of helping students, get involved.
They want our students to be leaders, and that's just by providing us with different opportunities and just a way to build leadership skills. So in my job and in the classroom, I'm given opportunities to just build on skills that I feel like the leader should have.
As a political science major, I really wanted somewhere where I could be involved, where I could be active, and I would have access to government offices, really where the political action happens. I didn't see any other university that offered that. I've been able to do things that I don't think I would be able to do at other locations.
You can live leadership no matter where you are, whether it's on campus or back home in the neighborhood you come from. You learn as you grow here at UIS. That leadership lived is a chain that is growing stronger and stronger every year when people graduate from here.
I think Leadership Lived is such a great brand for UIS because in every aspect you have the opportunity to be a leader at UIS. A lot of other schools, you're another number, and here you can really take anything and run with it. We have opportunity, and we're going to grow and we're going to develop, and other people and other schools are going to look at us like, hey, we are the next scale, next level.
So at UIS, we have a liberal arts education approach, and our goal is for our students to become global citizens with the capacity to pursue lifelong learning while also being valuable members of their communities. At UIS, we have a 13-to-1 student to faculty ratio, and our classes are taught by professors. TAs on our campus are very rare, and our online professors are also trained to teach online classes. Our students at UIS also have tons of opportunity to do research and also for internships through our through our Center of Prior Learning and Internships and our state capitol, as well as different state agencies located in the state capitol down in Springfield. UIS also has a ton of study abroad opportunities, so if you've ever thought about going to a different country, we have many of those opportunities available on our campus. Also, if you're not looking to leave the country, but you're looking to go somewhere else to study for a semester, we also do have study away opportunities, which allow students to go to a different university to learn for at least a semester. At UIS, we also offer 31 different bachelor's degrees, 20 master's, and 1 doctoral degree. Some of our most popular majors for freshmen include nursing, computer science, and political science. Other of our popular programs include accountancy, criminal justice and criminology, business, and psychology. So at UIS, our College of Business and Management is accredited by the AACSB, which is a distinction that is earned by less than 5% of business schools worldwide. The close proximity to the state capitol is one of the main reasons why a lot of our students choose to go to the University of Illinois Springfield. As I mentioned earlier, our students have a lot of access to internships and research opportunities that are only available to students in the Springfield area. So that's why a lot of our students who are looking to go into political science, a lot of our students looking to go into criminal justice, criminology, decide to go to the University of Illinois Springfield because they do have opportunities to work with the local state government, as well as the different agencies down in Springfield. So the University of Illinois Springfield is also home to over 90+ student organizations. On our campus, we have Greek letter organizations, cultural organizations, and student government, which are all opportunities for you to get involved on campus, as well as start to build your leadership skills while on campus. UIS also has 15 different NCAA Division II athletic teams, and some of those include men and women's basketball, men and women's cross country, and men and women's soccer, and plenty more to choose from. At the University of Illinois Springfield, we do also have our Diversity Center, and through our Diversity Center, there is the Hispanic and Latinx Initiative. And the purpose of that program is to provide for Hispanic and Latinx students with an environment to thrive socially and academically while they are on campus. And some of the programs that they put on throughout the year include the Hispanic and Latinx Mentoring Program, which is an opportunity for first-year students to get paired with an upperclassman, and they'll help guide you during your first few months on campus and first year on campus as well. We also do have the Hispanic and Latinx Alumni Panel and Brunch, which is an opportunity for you to network with other students as well as network with alumni who have graduated from the University of Illinois Springfield. And then we do also have the Hispanic and Latinx Discussion Group and Hablamos Español, which are all opportunities for you to engage with other students on campus and really get to talk to them about issues that are currently impacting the Hispanic and Latinx community while you're down on campus. So if you are interested in joining the University of Illinois Springfield this fall or any fall in the future, there are only a few things that we require from students. So the first one is an online application, which you can access on our website, apply.uis.edu. The next thing we would need from you is an application fee. So the application fee is $50 for domestic students, and the fee can be waived if you qualify for a fee waiver. Also, the other thing that we require from you is an official high school transcript. And if you would like, you can also submit letters of recommendation, and make sure that you go ahead and request your transcripts and your letters of recommendation from your high school counselor and have them send those to us as soon as possible, so that way we can mark your application as complete. Due to COVID-19, the University of Illinois Springfield does have some updates for fall 2021. So in regards to ACT and SAT, the University of Illinois Springfield is going to be going test optional for fall 2021. And that simply means that we are not requiring students to submit a test score. If you have taken the ACT or SAT and would like for that score to be considered during the review process, you are more than welcome to submit that test score. However, it is not required for you to do so. We are also requiring students to submit a short essay, and in the essay, we simply want to know about your interest in UIS and also get to know you a little bit more. So we want to know about your interests, the majors you want to go into, different things like that. And then UIS is also offering virtual visits and virtual information sessions. So if you would like a little bit more in-depth information about the University of Illinois Springfield, I do invite you to go ahead and visit our admissions website, where you can go ahead and find links to sign up for the different virtual visits and virtual information sessions that we still have. Also, the University of Illinois Springfield is still offering on-campus tours. So these are one-on-one tours that you can sign up for and go down to campus and have an opportunity to visit different resources and different buildings on campus. If you do choose to visit us on campus, we do ask that you sign up at least 2 weeks in advance so that we can go ahead and share all of our safety protocols with you, so that way we can make your visit as safe as possible. The University of Illinois Springfield is also offering virtual appointments. And with these virtual appointments, if you or your parents have any questions regarding the University of Illinois Springfield, the admissions process, or just have questions about college in general, you can feel free to sign up for one of these virtual appointments, and then you'll have the opportunity to sit down one-on-one with an admissions counselor and have all of your questions answered. And then at the University of Illinois Springfield, about 70% of our students do receive some form of financial aid. So through the admissions office, we do offer merit-based scholarships that range from $1,500 all the way to $12,000 yearly for up to 4 years. And all you need for these scholarships is to submit your application for admissions, and then also have your GPA and ACT and SAT score. So those are the two things that we use to determine these merit-based scholarships. So again, due to COVID-19, we are making adjustments to the way we award these merit-based scholarships. We don't have any finalized criteria as of this moment, but if you do check back on our website within a few weeks, we will have that updated information on how we will be awarding these merit-based scholarships. UIS does also offer over 340 institutional scholarships that are worth more than $575,000. And all you need to do to apply to these scholarships is, one, be admitted, and then you do need to submit a separate application. And once you submit that application, you will be considered for any scholarships that you qualify for. And for more information regarding the cost of attendance, financial aid, I do invite you to visit our website, where we have a ton of information regarding cost and financial aid, as well as resources to help you price your education. And then finally, if you do have any additional questions about the University of Illinois Springfield, my contact information is on the screen. Again, my name is Jonathan Martinez. You can contact me at any time through email. That phone number you see on the screen, you can either call or text that phone number. I do ask that if you send me a text message, to please include your name and the high school that you attend, just so that I know who I'm speaking with. And then again, I do speak Spanish in case you do have any questions, or your parents would like to hear from someone, a little bit more about the university in Spanish. And thank you.
Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're at. My name is Keena Griffin. I'm an Assistant Director of Undergraduate Admissions with the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign. I want to talk to you about a couple of things today, both about the university itself, but also about our application process and some of the changes we've had for you this year. And so the theme of what I'm going to talk about with you today is the power of I. The power of I is actually about us creating a two-way street to give you ownership of your education. But on the same vein, we want to make sure that we're giving you all the resources that you need to be successful, but we'll need your support in making sure that we know exactly what it is you do need to be successful. So with my first slide, I want to talk about the profile of the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign. Now, we are the state's flagship university. We are the largest school in the entire state, and we have arguably the resources of any school in the entire state. Our campus population for undergraduate students hovers around 34,000 undergraduate students. And this year is the first time in our school's history we actually reached the 51,000 student mark in terms of our total campus population. Now, with that population, we're also one of the most diverse institutions in the Midwest, as well as in the Big Ten Athletic Conference. Our students come from all corners of America, and they come from over 113 different countries across the entire world. Now, with that, some people may be intimidated by those numbers. Illinois is a big place, but you're going to receive a lot of individualized and one-on-one attention. That starts inside of the classroom, which is actually the topic of my next slide. We offer over 150 different majors on our campus, and they're separated into 11 different academic communities that we call colleges. Those colleges govern like-minded majors so that you get a sampling of exactly what you should expect within the programs available. You can rest assured that regardless of what you choose to study at Illinois, your degree is going to be highly respected. You're going to have a number of different opportunities to accomplish your goals, both inside of the classroom and outside of the classroom. Now, we're most well known for our Granger College of Engineering and our Geese College of Business. They're very highly ranked programs, but regardless of what you're going to study, you're going to receive amazing opportunities. Each year, about a quarter of our students actually come into our Division of General Studies. They gain an academic advisor who's helping to guide them through different curriculums they may want to study. And ultimately, they're going to get an additional 2 years to explore both opportunities inside of the classroom as well as extracurricular activities to find out exactly what their passion is and where that lies. Now, I also want to take time to talk about the Champaign-Urbana community, which is my next slide. Champaign-Urbana is a thriving community. It's what we consider micro-urban. So you'll receive all the amenities of a larger city, just in a smaller locale. We're located about 2, maybe 2.5 hours south of Chicago, depending on where you're leaving from. But once you arrive there, a lot of people expect, because you're driving through corn and soy, they expect to see a much smaller town. The University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign could not be where it is today without that Champaign-Urbana community. And vice versa, the community wouldn't be where they are today without the university. There's a very mutually beneficial relationship. Once you're on campus, you have a thriving campus scene with a lot of places, not only to go to class, but to eat good food, meet good people, and enjoy your college experience. You get to build the life that you want to have. But you also have access to 2 thriving and unique downtown communities. The Champaign area is actually a little bit more thriving, whereas the Urbana area is a little bit more relaxed and quiet. So you get the best of all 3 different worlds: campus, a chance to study, and a chance to also be social and meet all of your campus requirements. Now, in my next slide, I want to talk about the ways that you can get involved on campus, but also how you can return that back to the community. We have a number of different opportunities for our students to engage with each other and build community. We have over 1,800 registered student organizations that are considered student groups. So regardless of where your passions lie outside of the classroom, you have the opportunity to pursue those passions. If for whatever strange reason you don't find the perfect organization for you amongst those 1,800, it's really easy, to create your own student organization. It takes 3 total people. So you need to find 2 friends amongst 51,000, and you can create any organization you deem necessary on campus. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the 3 main opportunities to get involved inside of the classroom, but I also want to talk about the campus community itself. We offer Big Ten sports as well as club and intramural sports that give us a dynamic, electric atmosphere on campus. So regardless of whether there's an Illini Division I sport going on or whether you're just playing against other people on campus, you have that chance to engage with your fellow peers on that level, but then you also get a chance to engage with the overall community. It's a very dynamic place to be. Now, I did mention I want to take time to focus on 3 different areas, and that's the point of my next slide. We have 3 really big opportunities that a lot of our students participate in. The first are career-oriented programming, usually in the form of internships. Almost 70% of our students take advantage of the internship process. They work with our Career Center. Regardless of what your career goals are, you are going to get a specified advisor if you choose to use the Career Center. But you also work with someone in your academic area to explore your career goals. By the time they've graduated, almost 70% of our students have participated in internships. We are a Tier 1 research university, meaning we don't just pay our professors and faculty to come in and teach you the latest thing. We want them to engage in their field. They extend that opportunity for you to learn alongside them. So again, almost 70% of Illini by the time they've graduated have taken advantage of the opportunities available in research. And then in a traditional year, we offer more than 400 study abroad opportunities. Now, because of the impact of the global pandemic, those have been a little bit scaled back this year. But as soon as it's safe to do so, we're going to resume. We offer more than 400 trips, and they go to more than 60 countries. So we're dedicated to helping you find the perfect opportunity for you, whether that exists in terms of your studies or whether that exists in another country. Now, we also want to bring that back to campus. So my next slide is going to talk a little bit about support services. We have over 30 unique support centers on campus there to take care of you, whether that's in terms of your physical health, your mental health, or cultural supports you need on campus. Our Office of Inclusion and Intercultural Relations, OIIR, is one of the broadest departments on campus that's filled with great people. They govern our cultural houses. So whether that is La Casa Cultural Latina or the Bruce D. Nesbitt African American Cultural Center, we want to make sure that all of our students, because we pull students from every corner of the globe, we want to make sure that we're creating a welcoming and an engaging, thriving community. So we want you to be comfortable in who you are and have places to feel safe on campus. But we also want you to expand your horizons and to explore other cultures as well. So we pride ourselves on creating a world-renowned community as well on campus. Now, we also want to talk about housing a little bit too. So on my next slide, we talk about some of the different opportunities you'll have. We offer 35 different residence halls, either considered university housing or private certified options. We own university housing, and with private certified options, they offer a little bit different in terms of amenities because we work with the operators and the owners of those facilities. They work hand in hand with our university housing department. There is a 1-year requirement to stay in university housing or private certified housing. If you would like to stay in university housing on our campus, we also offer features called living learning communities, which pair you with fellow students. You build a community either on your floor or in your entire residence hall based on academic pursuits or lifestyle choices. 2 of our most popular are our Women in Engineering Living Learning Community, as well as our Sustainable Living or Green Energy Living Learning Community. Regardless of what your choice is, you're going to have a number of different options, and a lot of them are going to be appealing based on what your lifestyle choices are and based on where you'd like to stay on campus for your first year. Now, in addition, I want to talk about success outcomes because ultimately, Illini are highly recruited. Almost 10,000 unique employers come to campus every year to recruit our students because of the opportunities they're going to get inside and outside of the classroom. 86 of the Fortune 100 recruited Illini last year, 59 came to campus to do so. That shows that the types of jobs our students are getting are impressive after graduation. If you want more of a breakdown, we have a website called Illini Success that will show you the success outcomes for your individual major and where students are going after they graduate. But with that, I want to talk about harnessing your own power, and I want to talk about our application process following this Illini Success outcomes. So the power of I, like I mentioned, is a two-way street. And with the application process, we want to focus on a couple of things. First and foremost, we offer 2 filing periods, early action and regular decision. Our early action deadline, which is non-binding, is November 15th, but you have until January 5th to submit an application. Regardless of when you apply this year, you're going to receive your admissions decision in mid-February. Now, when you apply, there are two primary ways to do so. On our homegrown application, we call My Illini, or on the coalition application, which is a shared admissions application. Regardless of how you choose to apply, there's going to be no disadvantages whatsoever. In my next slide, I also want to talk about the application fee, which is $50 for domestic applicants or $75 for international applicants. If you're eligible for fee waivers, work with your high school counselor to have those sent to us, and we'll waive not only your application fee, but if you're admitted and choose to enroll, we'll waive the enrollment deposit fee as well. Now, when we review applications, we review them holistically, meaning we're not just looking at your grades and your test scores, although those are important. We want to see who you are as a fuller student and what makes you tick. So we want to take care to make sure that we are looking at the things that are relevant in terms of your academic pursuits. When you report your grades and your test scores, they are going to be self-reported, so you don't have to pay to send a transcript or an official score report on the front end. When you apply, I'd say set aside about 30 minutes to enter all of your classes and all of the grades that you've earned. We will look at those grades and we'll look at the classes you chose to take to make sure that you've challenged yourself and that you've done well when you met that challenge. That helps us establish academic foundation. After that, we're going to look at your test scores, which are completely optional for students applying this year, my seniors, fall 2021 applicants. You can choose whether or not you want to send in your test scores for the SAT or the ACT. If you elect not to send them, you don't have to worry, you won't be disadvantaged. If you feel that they are reflective of who you are, then we encourage you to send them. But if not, again, no worries if you choose not to. But we'll also take care to consider your extracurricular activities as well as your application essay to ensure that you're telling us the story of who you are and giving us context behind everything else that we can see in your application process. We ask you for quite a bit of information because that's what we're going to use to make decisions, not only for admission, but also for honors and for scholarships. Now, in my next slide, I want to address cost. And so we offer what we call differential tuition, meaning your cost of attendance is going to change based on the major that you're applying for. Some courses have lab fees or classroom fees. They vary from major to major. Regardless of what you choose to study, your price of attendance is going to be, your tuition fees as well as your room and board are going to be frozen for 4 years once you enter the university. So the price you're paying your freshman year is going to be the price that you're paying your fourth year. Now, other areas can fluctuate a little bit, but we've done a great job of maintaining cost control to make sure that these other expenses haven't inflated in a number of years. We want to make sure that Illinois is completely accessible for everyone. With my next slide, I want to talk a little bit about the Fafsa and types of financial aid. Now, if you're eligible, we strongly encourage you to complete the Fafsa as close to October 1st as you can. That's when it opens up, because it gives you access to types of need-based institutional aid. You can see a breakdown here. We offer almost 60% of our students scholarships and grants that are considered gift aid, meaning you don't have to worry about repaying those. We also offer our students federal student loans, again, completely accessible through the Fafsa, the free application for federal student aid. And you also may receive what we call federal work study, which is a government work program designed to make sure that students can be employed on campus and that they have money to earn through an on-campus job. Now, if you're not eligible to complete the Fafsa, that's perfectly okay. You can work with ISAC, the Illinois Student Assistance Commission, to complete the alternative application for financial aid. There are institutional funds available for students who are ineligible for Fafsa. Again, we want to make sure that Illinois is completely accessible for all of our students. So with that, I'm going to end my presentation just by saying that we're here to help. On this side, we have all of our contact information for the Office of Undergraduate Admissions. We staff that phone number every day, Monday through Friday, from 8:30 a.m. Central Time to 5 o'clock p.m. Central Time. And if you email our admissions inbox, the admissions@illinois.edu site, that email is going to go directly to your contact at the university, your personal admissions counselor. So if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact us. We are always here to help. Thank you all for joining us again.
My name is Andrea Martinez. I am from the Illinois Student Assistance Commission, and I'm going to talk about the financial aid process and a little bit about myself that I actually did attend at the University of Illinois at Chicago, or UIC, and I graduated in 2017. So I want to start off with ISAC's mission statement. So it is providing Illinois students with information and assistance to help make education beyond high school accessible and affordable. So the Illinois Student Assistance Commission, or also known as ISAC, is a college access and financial aid agency in the state of Illinois that administers scholarships, grants, prepaid tuition, and student loan repayment and forgiveness programs. So I want to start off with the types of financial aid. There are many types of financial aid, and funds may be merit-based, need-based, or non-need-based. So there is gift aid and self-help aid. So with gift aid is usually awarded in the forms of grants and scholarships. It is assistance that generally does not need to be repaid. So I'm going to start off with grants. So grants are usually awarded on the basis of students' financial need or limited ability to meet the costs of colleges. And there's also scholarships. So scholarships could be merit-based, such as athletic abilities, as well as talents or artistic abilities. So there are many types of scholarships that you may be eligible for and that you may apply for as well. And also there's another thing about being about scholarships is to be cautious too, because you shouldn't be paying in order to get free money, if that makes sense. So there is a lot of scams out there stating like, oh, you could pay this amount to apply for a scholarship. However, you need to think about it as a gift aid, so as free money, and that you don't have to repay back. And there's also the self-help aid, which comes in loans and in work study. So with loans, you have to have a little bit more responsibility, and you need to see where is the loan coming from, as well as there is the federal loans, which could be a little better just because it has less interest rate. And there's also private loans. And with work study, it is a federal government aid that is basically, you could see it as a job. So you basically have to look for the work itself to see that it is indicated that it works with work study. So you could go get interviewed as well as applying for the job, and you indicate that you are interested in work study when you are applying for the Fafsa. So that is important to remember. And I always recommend students just to do it just because this is money that you could work with and will help you with your college cost. So there is the big grants. So the maximum award of 2020 and 2021. So I'm going to start off with the MAP grant, which is up to $5,340 that a student can receive. So the MAP grant is for the state of Illinois. So in other words, so if you're thinking of, going out of state or, going somewhere that is not reside in the state of Illinois, you won't be eligible for the MAP grant just because it is only for the state of Illinois. But there also is the Pell Grant. So for the Pell Grant, you could receive up to $6,345. And with the Pell Grant, it doesn't matter where you reside, depending if you go out of state or if you stay in the state of Illinois. You could receive up to $6,345, as I mentioned, but in total, you could receive up to $11,685 worth of grants. So like I said and mentioned before, grants is gift aid, so it's money that you don't have to repay back. So for the loan programs, when evaluating loan options, you have to consider the following. So where is the source of the loan coming from? Is it coming from the Department of Education, through the federal government? You need to see where is this coming from. And if you are getting a private loan, you also got to see if it has specific requisites. And also you need to see if it's subsidized or unsubsidized. So what the difference is that subsidized, it is need-based, and with this loan, if it's subsidized, you need to also make sure the government will give help for you. So in other words, that means that the interest that is recruits, that is the federal government will help you. And for unsubsidized loans, it is non-need based. So that is the difference between the both. And you will be responsible for paying that interest rate as it accumulates. You also got to check what is the interest rate of this loan. That is very important just to see. And if you're getting a loan through the federal government, the good thing about that is that it is a fixed rate, which means that the interest rate won't go up or down, it will stay the same. And also repayment options and grace period. So looking through the fine print, seeing how long, when do you need to start repaying this loan? That is very important to look into, just because when it comes to loans and taking out loans, you have to be a little bit more responsible, and you need to remember that you are going to repay this back. So the free application for federal student aid, also known as Fafsa. So the Fafsa is the first step in the financial aid process for most students. It is used to apply for state and federal financial aid programs. Some colleges use it to award institution aid, and the application is available at no cost. That is important to, emphasize, just because if someone is offering you to help you out filling out the FAFSA, and in order to, get paid, don't do it, because there's a lot of programs such as ISAC, as well as your counselors, that could help you and guide you apply for the FAFSA itself. So it is important, to just, if you need help, seek it out and ask. And there's also the alternative application for Illinois financial aid, also known as the Alternative App. So this application is only for state financial aid. That's very important to emphasize, just because it is only state aid, and also for public universities and colleges. It is open to qualifying undocumented students and transgender students who are not eligible to complete a FAFSA. Some colleges use it to award institutional aid, and the application is available at no cost. So another thing I want to know is that students should complete either the FAFSA or Alternative App, but not both. So parent information. So most students must report parent information until the age of 24. For financial aid purposes, there's only 3 types of parents: biological parents, adopted parents, and step parents if married to a biological parent. No one else should provide information on the FAFSA or alternative application. So if you feel like you have a special circumstance and you need to speak with someone, you could always contact me, or even your counselor, to see how you could help provide this information. And also, legal guardians are not considered parents for financial aid purposes. And if parents are divorced, you have to report the information of the parent that the student has lived with the most for the past 12 months. So this is the information that will be needed. So this is only for FAFSA. You will need your social security number. If the parent does not have a social security number, it's okay, it's totally fine. The only thing that the parent has to indicate in there is all zeros for that portion. Alien registration number if the student is not a US citizen, and a federal student aid FSA ID to sign electronically. And for the FAFSA and alternative application, for both of these applications, you will need your 2019 federal tax returns, W-2s, and other records of income, banking statements and records of investment, if applicable, records of untaxed income, and list of colleges that students will like to attend. So how much does college cost? So this is just an overall graphic just to show how much an institution may cost. So you have to consider tuition and fees, which is direct expenses, which means that this is something that you cannot negotiate, and it's something that will stay the same for that school year. Also, room and board can be a direct or indirect expense. And I could use my experience as an example. Since I attended at UIC, the room and board was an indirect expense just because I was commuting from home to school. So this was something that I did not have to, pay directly to the institution, just because I was now staying on campus to live. And also, these are indirect expenses, which is transportation, books and supplies, and other living expenses. So using my same experience, as transportation was indirect for me, just because I was commuting from home to school. So it's a little bit less expensive for me to, commute back and forth. But if we could give an example, if you are interested in going to a school that is in Iowa, that will be a little bit different, just because you need to consider the fact that you need to either, buy a plane ticket, or if you're gonna drive there, this is an indirect expense. And also there is books and supplies. So for books and supplies, there are many different ways to cut down that cost. So you could always buy your books used, rent it, or borrow it from a friend. as well as libraries also has copies of certain books that you may be eligible for. And also other miscellaneous living expenses is indirect, just because, for example, like I will always go to Dunkin' and get a, an iced coffee. So that will be a little bit more, an expense, but that was indirect just because it is my expense and not directly to the institution itself. So this is what is the cost of attendance. So then you will receive financial aid offers. So the financial aid administrators at the colleges will package all available aid and send a financial aid offer for consideration. So ISAC has a comparison worksheet that is very helpful just because it gives you more of a visual representation of what each financial package is a little bit more affordable for you, and you will be able to see what is the total cost of attendance, what is a student's financial aid eligibility, was my financial need met, what is my family expected contribution, what types of financial aid are included, and what is the out-of-pocket cost. So when you are looking in these financial aid offers, always look into all these details just to see, where is all this aid coming from? Is it loans? Is it grants? Is the institution itself giving you scholarships? And also looking into the scholarships to see what are the requisites when it comes to using that scholarship. So these are just some trusted websites. So learn what you need to know and stay up to date with accurate and trusted sources of information. So there is the ISAC student portal. There is the studentaid.gov. This is the Fafsa site for the Fafsa application, as well as the alternative application. So if you have any types of questions about financial aid in the moment or about going to college and you have nowhere to turn at the moment, you could always text our experts. So our experts are very attentive of, answering those questions. So you just have to pick the area code closest to you and you just text us your name. And if you're a parent or a student, so this is very helpful just because, it's actually an individual answering this question. So this is, and you will also get constant reminders such as when the FAFSA or the alternative application opens. So if you have any questions, this is my contact information. You could always email me or either text me or call me through this number. And I also speak Spanish if you have questions, in Spanish.
Thank you so much. And thank you for everybody for presenting all the information you provided. It's very helpful and for the most part, very similar to when I applied about 6 years ago. So I'm glad that there's not too many changes. So, that'll be helpful for students as they try to navigate these spaces in the next few weeks and next few months. I did have a few questions though, going back to something that was mentioned in the very beginning about Lattice. I wanted to see, if Lattice could describe, who they are and about the services and scholarships that they provide.
Yes, awesome. So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Marilyn Diaz, or Marilyn Diaz in Spanish. So I am one of the academic advisors for the Lattice program. We are known as the Latin American Recruitment and Educational Services Program. We are one of the largest support programs at UIC. So we are a very unique program where we do work with high school students, transfer students, and helping them with the transition to college. So our mission is to empower our students by providing them with personal growth and educational opportunities in order for them to become leaders and give back to the Latino community. And so we do that by providing many services. So one of our primary services is that we do provide holistic academic advising, which means that you will have an advisor based on your major. All of the advisors are bilingual. Most of us graduated from UIC. So I am a UIC alum as well. I also grew up in the Little Village, Cicero area. I graduated from Morden East High School. And so, yes, and so that's just a little bit about me, but many of our advisors are also bilingual. Most of us graduated from UIC, and then most of us also hold a master's or doctorate program. And so the students can also reach out to us to set up an appointment where we can also go over the admissions process. So we do collaborate with the Office of Admissions in terms of giving presentations. We do have Lattice partner schools. So you may already have a Lattice advisor that visits your school or works with your school. And so we do provide presentations on the UIC admissions process, as well as financial aid, and then about our Lattice program services. Along with academic advising and admissions appointments, we also do provide tutoring services. All of our tutors do offer doctorate degrees, so we do provide tutoring for English, math, and chemistry, and that helps our students be successful. And then we also have many scholarship opportunities. Besides the scholarships that they will receive on behalf of UIC based on merit or through the financial aid office, they also have the opportunity to apply to some of our Lattice scholarships. So we do have first year and transfer scholarships. We also have scholarships for current students. So we have some that are for sophomores and juniors, and we currently just opened one up for graduate students. So any student that is currently taking master's or involved in a doctor program, they can also qualify for that. So you can also visit our website to learn a little bit more about the scholarships that we offer. But yes, our main mission is to also increase retention rates for our Latino students at UIC. So we do help with the admissions, retention, and graduation rates at UIC.
I'd like to have a couple of things there. We just recently opened up another scholarship for the summer. Tuition is a little bit more expensive than probably a 2-year college, but we do have scholarships that help students if they're going to take a summer class at UIC. We're there to help them out. We have an emergency fund that helps students pay off their bill if they are, for some reason, running through some very tough times. Like right now, currently, we have some of our students that parents have lost their job and so forth. So we were able to help out 60 students last year in paying off their bill. 30 of those students were DACA students, and just to make sure they register for classes. And we opened up a book voucher application as well, and we have that running through the fall and spring term as well. So that's something that is there. And we offer right now, we have about 4 graduate assistantships. So once you graduate from college, you get your 4-year degree, and you're looking to go for a master's or a PhD, a grad assistantship program will pay your tuition and fees, but it will also give you some additional money while you're studying. And we're able to do that and have 4. And in the future, we're looking to increase that. Like Marilyn said, the scholarships, and also we're looking to increase the GA position as well. And the unique thing about it is that Marilyn is an academic advisor at UIC, but she's also a recruiter, and she's trained through ISAC to fill out the Fafsa. So we can engage with you, talk to you. We welcome the opportunity to not only sit down and meet with you personally, but also talk to your mom and dad, right? Because they play an important role in deciding which school you want to go into. So we're here to help. Y hablamos español, y come by and help us out, and we would like to get to know you.
Thank you so much for that information. I also wanted to highlight, one of the hardest pieces, at least for me, for the college application process, was the actual writing of the essay. I know that was very difficult for me. I went through many drafts, and I was wondering, for your universities, for all your different campuses, many students will probably maybe speak or write about their experience with COVID, themselves, their families, the hardships that they had to go through. But it's one thing about writing about your hardship. It's another thing, expressing how exactly it builds character, how exactly it makes you a very good candidate for a certain university. So I wanted to see whether you guys had some insights as to is there any tips that you guys would provide to students as they write their essays, if they want to include a portion about their experiences during the pandemic?
Yeah, I can start off. So with our essay, we ask a very pointed question. We want students to talk about the major or the majors they selected and why they feel they're a good fit for those programs. We understand that COVID has had an impact on everyone. So we give students naturally in our application a Q&A section to talk about any extenuating circumstances or anything that didn't necessarily fit in the application essay, because they're limited to 400 words. And so they need to maximize that space. This year, we understand that, like I said, it's impacted everyone. So we've actually created a separate portion of our application to talk strictly about COVID-related issues. So if there's something that's impacted you, we want to hear about that, because we review applications holistically. We consider your story, and if that's a portion of your story, you should tell that to us, because we want to have more information. That way we can make a good decision. And that way, if there's anything that's impacted you, you can tell us about it so we can look at that with context.
Yes, I would, from UIC, Rick, again, I would absolutely agree with that. I guess I would only add that, you know, college is a challenging environment, and we're looking for evidence that you're going to be able to adapt and overcome those challenges. I think that if you were able to find innovative ways to do that during the pandemic, that's absolutely great information for us, if you can tell us that story in your personal statement.
Yeah, and this is Jonathan from UIS. So I do agree with both UIUC and UIC in regards to the essay. So definitely one thing that I like to tell students in general is definitely make sure that you're reading the question for the university that you're applying to. Make sure that you're hitting all of the points in the specific question, because every university, you know, with their question, they want to learn specifically about, you know, they want to make sure that you're answering the question, but they also want to learn a little bit about you as well. So whenever I'm speaking with students, I like to tell them, you know, make sure you're hitting on all the points of the question. And if there's additional information, you know, we want to know about that information as well, but make sure that you don't, you know, use your limited amount of words, because again, essays only either 250 to 400 words. You want to make sure you're maximizing that amount. So you don't want to include, you know, irrelevant information in the essay. You know, save that for the other portions, because a lot of applications do have areas where you can include about, you know, obstacles that you face, extenuating circumstances, things like that. And we have that on our application as well, where you can include that additional information.
All right. Well, I want to thank all of you guys for you know, taking some time to explain that. I know these are very difficult times. These are, you know, circumstances that nobody could have foreseen. So, you know, just, you know, having that context, I think, will be very helpful for students as they, you know, engage with you know, different colleges. They start writing their essays, gathering other materials. It's a very scary time, and preparing for college is also a very scary time. I went through many nights of a lot of stress, you know, working on my essay very late. So I think, you know, all the information that you guys provided as to the campuses of each universities, the financial aid that's available to students, I think it's very important that, you know, we make sure that we're educating our students, especially students in communities like ours, communities of color, to make sure that, you know, they make themselves, you know, they prepare themselves as much as possible. So I, you know, to everybody who's listening, I want to remind that many of the scholarships that the universities mentioned are also open to undocumented students. So, you know, please follow up with any questions with the telephone numbers and the emails that they provided. So you're encouraged to reach out to them. And if you also have any questions, you can also reach out to my office. My phone number to my office is 708-295-9159 if you have any questions. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in, and please make sure to share this link with your friends. You know, we have to do everything that we can to get other people engaged in the college application process. So thank you so much for investing in your education, and thank you for all the representatives from the universities to continue to encourage, you know, the movement into higher ed for our students. Thank you.
Watching. Thank you for listening and investing in your education today. Please remember, many of the scholarships the universities mentioned are open to undocumented students as well. Please follow up with questions. You are all encouraged to reach out to the University of Illinois at the number and emails provided. The great thing is that in addition to this video, you can find so much information about the University of Illinois universities online, including social media. You can also reach out to my office at 773-236-0117. Follow us on social media at Representative Aaron Ortiz. We are here to help and to connect you. If your family, neighbors have any questions about any state services, such as applying for unemployment services, please don't hesitate to reach out to our office. Thank you so much.